Thanks to Diablo Guitars for having us here.
It's really good.
We're not even seeing all the ridiculous guitars they have on the wall, but they have lots of ridiculous guitars. And I will shut up and hand it over to this man here, who needs no introduction. Oh, wait. There are discounts tonight, too, so you could talk with your fine representatives here, and they will help you out. But I'll shut up and give you Gary Holt here.
What's up? I feel important. We have this velvet rope here and shit. What's going on? How you guys doing? What's up? You guys partying tonight? Are you guys fired up, or are you going to be boring?
No.
Because, the more cool, fun questions you guys can throw at me, the better these things always are. I'm always nervous doing this shit because, no matter how, no, I'm not kidding you, man. You get on stage, you got an audience that's predominantly drunk. You got 120 decibels of mayhem, and you have bandmates. And you're all good. And then you get out and do this. It's like, well, I tell everybody all the time, I know about 5 licks. Like I'm more Angus than Petrucci. And but I know a lot of riffs. So, I'll try to entertain you and share some stories. And we hang out. We ain't taking questions yet. Put your hand down, son.
If you want non-alcoholic beer, I got you.
Bring it on up. Come on up. Hey, can we get rid of this velvet rope now?
Yeah, here you go.
It's making me feel isolated. What do you got?
Non-alcoholic Seattle, bro. It's brand new.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, bro.
I'm always down with a
You're
good
free.
NA. All right, let's check it out. I'm going to try it out first. Here.
Cheers, motherfucker. Cheers.
That's really good.
Go Niners. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, what's that team of clowns you guys got up here? Oh, shit. I've already lost the audience. No, hey, let's talk about fucking Sean Payton.
I wouldn't admit it.
Do you guys want to talk about Sean Payton? No, we're getting off topic here. But he went out and blasted the Denver Broncos for last season. They blasted everybody but Russell Wilson. What do you guys think of Russell Wilson? Yeah, that's what I want to hear. All right, let's riff out. I ran out of ideas. But you guys can give me ideas. You know, I'll play any riffs you want. Who here plays guitar?
Hey, John.
Who here? God, that's a lot of you. Who wants to learn to play any Exodus riffs, or even Slayer if I know him? Yeah, that guy does. I'm here to teach. I'm here to have a good time.
Purple razors, man.
Get that out of the way. I'm shocked I remember that. We should bring that song back.
Hey,
You know,
Greg, where'd you get the red titanium hardware for your...
Futone.
Yeah,
Floyd's
you
upgrade.
copied me, remember?
It makes it all super like 10 issue level of color coordinated, and they're better. They're titanium. They last forever.
Badass, right? You like them?
What's that?
You like it?
Yeah, dude. Come on. You know, you add some color to your life, and
It's badass.
who doesn't want to live a life full of color, right? You know, and you know, you keep it. It's black. It's still cool, but it's black and red. It's even fucking cooler, right? And it's also better. You know, it's an improvement other than just cosmetically. Question. Let's shoot him. Yes, sir. You.
Yeah, I love your Purple Rain Prince tribute guitar, and I saw you have one of the cloud guitars that
Yeah,
came out
yeah.
in Paisley Park. I got one myself.
Nice.
How often do you play that?
The cloud one?
Yeah.
Almost never. I mean, I had it around the house, but it's in with the collection now, and I need to pull it out.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know if on this next tour we're playing Minneapolis, but I keep saying when we do play Minneapolis again, I got to bring that guitar out.
Fuck yeah, man. I love
But I got to pick a song that I don't need a whammy bar on it because it doesn't have one. And but yeah, it'd be the city to do it, right?
Hell yeah, man.
But I do love that guitar. It was a gift from my wife. She was very thoughtful. Love it. And it waited a long time for that thing.
So same.
As if it
Took
was
forever.
custom built, which it wasn't. It was just delays. But yeah, the Purple Rain ESP, it's one of my favorites. It's totally sick.
Love that thing.
I'm trying to get my right hand thrash skills up. Like I've been playing forever, but just like speed. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about like your right hand and like your picking and
Yeah,
how you
absolutely.
hold the pick, or you know. I know it's one of those hard things for people to describe.
You know, right hand picking, it's an art form. It's more important to me than anything else, the soloing shit. If someone said you could play rhythm for the rest of your life or leads and be really good at one and terrible at the other, like get rid of the solos. I don't care. You know, it's all about the riffs. And it's all about learning how to apply maximum velocity with technique still. And, you know, as I get older, you know, things are harder for me to do. I've suffered through really horrific tennis elbow in both arms, like countless cortisone injections and, you know, arthritis and all that. So, you know, certain things are slower, but you learn cheats. Here, I'll show you a cheat. Come up here. I think it's a little too loud. See, like down picking, a lot of time now to cheat, and everybody cheats. Even Hetfield cheats, and he's the best of all time. When you see a guy in the middle of a down pick, baddest riff ever, and he throws in one of these, sometimes that's a reset. That's all you need. We all cheat, and he is the best at all ever lived to do it, and he sings at the same time, which is fucking ridiculous.
Not
I
good,
can't
though.
sing and play at all. Not at all. I mean, I lose it. One of them's got to go.
I say that's false.
But you know, my cheat is like it's a down, up, down, down. You know, like when I do verbal riffs. And that little up and down also live allows me to like rock really hard when I do it. If I want to really just all down pick apart, sometimes I gotta like kind of not move too much. And I'd rather move, you know. So. And then another thing I do is I call it my waltz picking, you know, like on Postmortem, Carrie down picks that whole fucking song. It's like a jackhammer. I do this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 because it's just the way I've always done those kind of riffs. It allows me to like emphasize the snare where I want. It's just it's just like it's a fast waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But you know, it hurts. Rhythm playing hurts, and eventually you'll get past the pain.
That's why I'm doing it, and I'm like after 5
Yeah,
minutes, I'm just like,
you get Popeye arm. Your arm gets like, I mean, come on, my right arm is permanently like way bigger than the left. You know, it's for a reason. It's not masturbation. Well, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
it's practice.
He's at both, yeah. That's a really good non-alcoholic beer, by the way.
Gotcha, bro.
Yeah, so I'm Rock Doc, chiropractor to over 600 famous bands, and
Where you been all my life?
but I'm curious about what you do for what type of stretching, therapy, exercise to keep your body in shape. Do you have like some sort of routine that you do before you play, before you practice, to offset the different positions and postures that you're in, that type of thing? So.
For most of my life, since being a teenage skateboarder, I've suffered from off and on really bad back problems. I've got a broken L5. And through a large part of my time in Slayer, I was really suffering, like, 2,800 milligrams ibuprofen. Going to, like, clinics on tour and getting trigger point injections. I've had 3 epidurals, right? And I've never given birth, But what I did, though, is I traveled with an inversion table. And wherever Slayer went, there would be a room, and there would be a little sign on the door, and it'd say Gary's Hideaway. And inside Gary's Hideaway was an inversion table. And I'd go in there and then eventually I got Charlie Bonante, my back is really fucked up. Can I use your table? Yeah, sure. Randy Blythe, Gary, I got to hit the table again. Go for it. And the whole entourage would come to Gary's Hideaway. But it helps, create some separation in that fucked up back of mine. But I've been good for the last, a few years, better than I've been in a long time. No more epidurals.
Anything with your hands or fingers that you do to stretch them out before you play?
Warm up, stretch them out. Sometimes they hurt. Knuckles are enlarging. Just occupational hazard.
Did you ever try chiropractic?
Biofreeze. I'll put that on sometimes before the show if they're flaring up. Ice.
Did you ever try chiropractic?
Oh yeah, chiropractic care saved my life in my late 20s. I couldn't even get in and out of a car.
Awesome.
But they I'm still a firm believer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
I have a question about your Protones pedal and how you combine that with the TS9.
Come on up. Come on, let's talk up close. When I play, I have to take out my hearing aids. I do have hearing aids. Thank you, Slayer. It's what's known as a lovely parting gift. And yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
So I was wondering how you use your Proton pedal, Proton pedal, the mid-range with the TS9 into the Marshall. Were you on a lead channel or are you in the clean channel?
I'm in the lead channel. Lately, I'm using the Boss Super Overdrive instead of the Tube Screamer. Oh, okay. I started using that on the album, and I run them in the input. My gain on the Jubilee is only at 3. But, I'm hitting it with so much boost in the front of it. And I have that Goop Tech EQ pedal in the loop, which adds a resonance control to a Marshall, which doesn't have one. Game changer. If anybody owns a Marshall, you go get that pedal and put it in the loop, and all of a sudden you have all the low end of a 5150 in a fucking Marshall. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of boosting shit. Like, part of it to me, it's like that never-ending quest for tone. And you can buy a modern amp that does it all, and you sound like it sounds great, but you sound like everybody else. But where's the joy in that? I'm a big, I'll put a big muff into a big muff into a big muff if I think it's gonna sound cool and get me a tone I'm looking for. And that's half the fun, is trying different combinations of things. Plus, I'm a Marshall guy. There's something about that, the way they sing, the transparency in the top end, I can't get with other amps. It's awesome shit.
Cool.
Right on.
Yeah, thanks.
You got it. Right. I'm using this Quad Cortex right now. This thing's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best pieces of gear I've found in 20 years.
Can you boost it? Can you boost it?
Say that again?
Can you boost it?
It's boosted digitally. It's a profile, whatever, of a Jubilee, not my own. And I grabbed the little version of a Super Overdrive and dragged it over in front of it, and so I can. It's awesome. And, I could travel everywhere with this thing, We just did South America last December, and we had full 100% confidence in our guitar sound every day, instead of like wondering what the rental amps are going to sound like in Guatemala. And that's not meant to be a joke. You can imagine what kind of amps you're going to get in fucking Guatemala. Not very good, but we had these and we carried them on in our carry-ons, and we were happy every day. It's amazing. Great piece of gear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna ask you because I've been playing for a while too, and my friends have all been trying to get me hooked on stuff like the fractal and all that kind of thing. And I love my tube amps. I just love the warmth and how it pushes the air. But the Quad Cortex, I've seen you guys have seen Megadeth uses it now, and that's probably the best sounding one I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I'm still absolutely 100% learning my way around this thing. I did this preset in like fucking 10 minutes.
Right? It looks sick.
And but I on the other hand, I power them through amps.
Yeah.
I do want speakers, I want microphones, I want monitors. And so I use it just as a preamp in the chain. So does Megadeth, they're powering theirs as well. And it's just fucking amazing. It's got all kinds of good tricks, Cool stuff. There's a little bit of everything. I'm still playing around with this thing.
Might have to invest.
It's fucking great. Like the clean, I pulled up a little preset, put a little delay in it, and I still need to fine tune a lot of this stuff. But it's freaking awesome. Look how big it is. It's killer.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Want to play it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he's shaking.
Have a seat. Here you go.
You don't want to hear me finger pick.
an never-ending amount, but I got some picks. Come on, keep me entertained.
How about the chorus riff from Blacklist?
What's that?
The chorus riff from Blacklist.
Chorus riff? First thing I'll tell you is everybody plays Blacklist wrong.
Just like Blind by Blood.
Everybody plays that wrong. Blacklist, everybody go. You got to hit the lower chord because then the chords are descending. Don't. That's good. Down. You want to go down.
Right.
Brutal.
Good.
Yeah. The March of the Sycophants riff.
Ooh, you might have just started a game.
Did I stump you?
You might have just started a game of Stump the Hole. We were doing that in San Diego, and it was shocking how many times I was stumped on things I wrote.
Really?
Hold on. All right, Mark. There you go. Almost stumped me though. But you know what? Someone called that one out in San Diego, so I probably like semi-stumped.
Yes. I'm not a guitar player, I'm a record geek, so I gotta, on that line. So you just switch labels.
Come on up. I'm deaf, you gotta remember. I'm like really deaf, it's really bad. I got hearing aids because my wife got tired of yelling at me.
So really just
She
switch
is my
labels.
hearing aid. Yes, sir.
So I wonder what the advantages are and what you're excited about being on napalm as opposed to nuclear.
It's just one of those things. We were nuclear blast for a long time, since 2003. But sometimes, change is good. There was a ton of change at nuclear blast, and I kind of knew one person there anymore, and I used to know everybody. And this might be my last record deal. I'm 59 years old, so I wanted to make sure it was right. I hope so, but I'm pretty confident. They're all 100% behind this band.
Right, good to hear.
Word. Yes, sir.
So I play both ESP and LTD. I've got one of each. Can you explain how ESP approached you and how you developed your own signature model?
From the very beginning, I did. Exodus played Kirk Hammett's Fear Festival in San Diego, and ESP sent like a whole bunch of guitars down for Kirk to use that day. And they weren't his own Metallica instruments. And I got there before Kirk did, and I stole one. I did. I got there, and then when he showed up, I said, "Look at this flame top FXR. This one's mine." He goes, "Keep it, bro." And then he convinced me to come back, and it's the best thing I ever did. And then growing up worshiping Thin Lizzy and Jimmy Page and all these guys, the clips just made perfect sense. And the LTD, I play them all the time. This isn't me promoting a guitar that I don't play. This is mine. I play it all the time. I took it everywhere in South America. I added all the little colorful bits, and they're awesome. I compare the difference between this and the custom shop one. It's like a Hellcat versus a Bugatti. They'll both drive you into a brick wall to your death in seconds, but the one is wrapped in handcrafted carbon fiber and sumptuous luxury leather and the finest engineering, and the other one is rolling off an assembly line, ready to kill you just as well. And when we got a chiropractor friend here, when my back problems are flaring up at times, I couldn't wait to put these on. because I also, when we were designing the guitars, I said the custom, I want that thing heavy, like a fucking anchor. And it's heavy like an anchor. And sometimes you you might want something and you don't know if you really should have it. But, I like a heavy guitar. I always tell people, like in the movie Predator, everybody's got their guns, but Jesse the Body's got his chain gun, right? And when I put a guitar on, I want to feel like someone handed me a 50 caliber fucking weapon. It just feels heavy and it's just like it's gonna hurt somebody, me included. But these are killer. It's not a lightweight guitar, but they're awesome. And then we have the new V.
Yeah.
Let's play the V.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the white one coming out?
Yeah, this Tony Rouser and I at ESP, we worked long and hard, and this one's the only one in the world. This one's actually mine. I shipped it so I could show it to you guys. We decided to match it to the black ones, and I got one of the USA Vs. Then I got an Arrow, and I just found myself falling back in love with the pointy body, And it's kind of that whole weapon thing again, but this is kind of like a bladed weapon, and it's killer. Awesome guitar. Yeah. It's got the finish of like a piano. It's just piano black with the red and black multiply binding, and will be available, I think, December.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just in time for
Thanks, Gary.
Just in time for a good old Saint Nick.
Yeah.
I'm sure the awesome people here at Diablo Guitars will take your pre-orders today.
Does that have the illuminated side dots on it?
Glow in the dark, you mean? Yeah, I think so. But like you see on these, I'm blind, and red binding on a red lit up stage, I can't see anything. So, I have my guys draw them in.
A couple questions from our streaming audience.
No, they're not here. They're getting
Yeah, I know, right? We've got them from all over the place, but one of the questions was, you mentioned Page and players like that, but Randy Rhoads. Had a couple people ask if Randy Rhoads was an influence on you at all as a player.
Randy's, the fucking legend, of course, one of my
I
heroes.
figured that'd be the answer.
He's, everybody has their favorites. Randy's, he's one of my favorite guitar players, but he's not the guy that I listen to and mimicked. I think Mr. Crowley's one of the best guitar solos ever fucking recorded, ever written. Phil Demo, my friend from Violence Machine Head, worships Rhodes. I worship Blackmore.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where's the rainbow?
Yeah, Richie's my hero. Michael Schenker.
One more question was, and I think you covered it a bit, but just your live signal chain recently.
Recently, yeah, it's a Marshall Jubilee, boosted with a super overdrive and my signature Protones mid boost, to dial the mid range in, with the Goop Tech EQ in the loop, and that's it. And Arachnid cabs, the local company in Sacramento, and they light up and they're like disco balls. It's awesome. It's fucking killer shit. Sometimes I got to get used to these switches. I try to change it to the neck pickup, and I'm going like that. Oh, it's not there. Oh, it's down there. There's where that fucking thing is.
What's your favorite rainbow riff?
What's that?
What's your favorite rainbow riff?
Rainbow Riff? Oh God, that's like that? I mean, I'm faking half of it. But you know, that's the thing is when I was a kid, we learned everything we wanted to learn from our heroes by listening to the records. We couldn't slow them down and keep them in pitch. We didn't have the internet with tabs, so we learned them off records, and we usually learned them wrong. But learning those lead licks wrong turned them into yours because you like I saw Richie so many times, and I saw him once in a club. The last time he ever did a rainbow tour, and I was third row center in a place that held like 800 people. And I realized every riff I thought I knew was wrong. It was different. But, you take all the little bits you learn from your heroes, and it becomes kind of yours. You sat around with UFO records all day, trying to cop Michael. And
What's your favorite Michael Senker riff?
What's that?
What's your favorite Michael Senker riff?
Like the riff master.
Star Spangled Banner. I've been struggling with that riff for 20 years.
All right, I'll show it to you.
It's a freaking finger twister.
It's easy. It's actually really easy. The finger twister is persona non grata. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, by the time I get to the second verse of that, your fingers start mixing notes up, and it gets kind of fucking wacky. Scar's easy, though. It's all pull up. Arm's just going da 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 da.
Right.
See? It's easy.
It's all pull off.
It's all pull offs. It's all in one position. Easy, yeah. And the whole song is built around that one hand position. It's easy. Yeah, it's not hard. Sounds harder than it is.
It does. It sounds confusing.
It sounds hard. Persona non grata is fucking as hard as it sounds. It's crazy. That riff is a weird riff because it hurts your left arm. Right. Like it fucking gives up the ghost, and you can't wait for that second verse to end because you fucking need it. Maybe we'll play it live someday. I don't know. I'm gonna teach it. I'm gonna have to teach it to Lee Altus first. Yes, sir.
Do you remember how to play 30 seconds?
Oh, God, you just stumped me, I think. Sounds terrible with all that delay on it, though. We got an acoustic around here. No, I need to work on that one. Just consider me stumped. Okay. No, I know how to play it, but I'm really out of practice on my fingerstyle stuff because I kind of have not spent any time on that shit in a long time.
No problem.
Because arthritis and all that shit. But yeah, I know how to play it, but can I play it? That's more the question. Can you play it? No, but I know.
It's like great harmonics, man. What are your techniques for the squeals and harmonics that you use?
For the whammy bar shit?
Yeah.
Come on up. Come on up. I'll show you a trick. Right here at the 10th. You can also get two notes, and that's how you get that space gun sound.
How far are you pushing? I mean, what is your,
What's that?
how loose are you making this string?
A lot of different ways. Like Dime was a master at just catching that with the left hand. I never did it that way. And when the one tour we did together, we were comparing notes, and he goes, "I did like this," and I'm like that. But this way you can get the two notes. And people, I shouldn't show you this shit. Because I mean, the hell of times people are like, "How do you get that that space gun sound?" And I should have just said, "Never say." But whammy bars, wonderful thing. Thank you, Eddie Van Halen and Uli Roth for cursing me with whammy bars on almost every guitar I own. The solo from Virgin Killer by Scorpions was the one that really made me want a whammy bar and everything. And, then the first time I heard Eruption, like, oh, listen, the big, deep growls, before that, it's just your typical Fender bar stuff, little like that, Shit, but fun things, noisemakers.
Hell yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Bonded by Blood. Can you play some off and then there were none?
Yeah, sure. Get that thing. Easy stuff. A lot of the Bonded by Blood stuff and a lot of the riffs I write, where people get things wrong is like I tend to write with other than the new shit, with a lazy left hand. Like Toxic Waltz, people will play the chorus and they're going like... It's not how it goes. It's all in one position. Now, instead of going... Same thing on them, and then they're not. Some people go. That's all right. A lot of pull-offs. Keep your, just to conserve energy and movement. You know, same in Bonded by Blood.
Is the neck the same as the other model?
What's that?
Is the neck the same as the other model?
Yes, yes. They're identical in every way except for the body, and the pickups are direct mounted in this one. I didn't even ask for that. But it's kind of cool. I like it. Yes, sir.
Cholo, hey, so me and my nephew went to the Oakland show a couple years ago around Thanksgiving at the Fox Theater.
Yep.
And I ran into Rick Hunnell in line.
I talked to Rick about that. I'm not going to talk about another man, like, you know, physical accident to his eye. That's not my place to talk about. No, I'll talk about my eyes all the time. You know, there was a time when these things were awful bloodshot all the time, and they're pretty fucked up looking. But they're nice and clear now.
Can I ask a question about Paul Bailoff?
Yeah.
Helicopter trout, how did he come up with that name?
He had a pair of fucking big-ass hedge clippers that he would spin around like a ninja martial arts weapon, and that's what he called the helicopter trout. He was swinging those things around, and his fucking, they were like the long ones, like, you know, 1.5 foot blades and hella sharp, and the helicopter trout. It is a good band name. Thanks for that idea. Yeah, Paul was one of a kind. You know, the guy had a hockey stick for a mic stand, you know? So he could fucking slap shot people by singing. Yeah.
So, I think Slayer, we all recognize you guys have been the veterans that we all have looked up to over the years and have really established like the riff master and solos and everything, but who do you see like going on in the future? Like what are gonna be the bands to really to watch coming up?
The bands to take the reins, you know?
Not
Like
necessarily,
that,
not
you mean?
necessarily take the reins. You know, people say like Polyphia and all that, but
I don't know.
They're not like really.
I don't know. That's hard to say. The industry's completely changed. It's really hard on bands now. It's hard on Exodus. You know, companies are taking some venues up to 35% of our merch money. We depend on that shit. Everything else costs twice as much, and they're taking twice as much. You know.
Not true.
You can only imagine how hard it is for a younger band.
Yeah.
What about younger bands you admire?
You know, before tragedy struck, you know, I would have said Power Trip without a doubt.
Yeah.
They had all the fire and energy and spark of like, you know, the early days of thrash. But you know, I mean, I guess, you know, I'd say like Lamb of God's definitely carrying the torch, but you know, they're veterans themselves. It's not like they're a new band coming up. They're, you know, they've been around a long fucking time. So it's hard to say.
So let me ask you something else. Are you familiar with Death Clock, Metalocalypse?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So we have.
I was on an episode of
Metalocalypse.
I'm the kid who was like talking about I got a hot topic card.
So here's the thing: is we have a huge problem in metal where Metalocalypse is just hanging. They stopped at that 4th season. And I think we need guys like you to be vocal enough out there.
Start a cartoon?
To get them to do, they gotta do the.
Fuck that, bring Slayer back.
They gotta do that last season and finish it up.
You know, maybe, I don't know.
Wrap it all up and tie it up, so I'm
have to hit
relying
up
on people
Brendan
like you
and ask
to
him.
be an advocate for
But
that.
it's good to see Death Clock is back.
Yes.
Yes,
We'll
it
be going
was
there in
one of the
September.
funnest days I ever spent was doing voiceovers for this cartoon. It was awesome.
Well, I
I got my father's Hot Topic card.
How much more was your arm hurting? I mean,
That was before the arm problem.
Was it? Is it?
Yeah, but that was brutal, dude. You know, like.
I mean, 'cause you were doing sets and oh my god, yeah.
You know, at one point, I did 11 sets in 6 days or something because I was doing twice a night, and then we did an off day headlining Exodus show.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, I was smoking weed then. Because I needed to relax a little bit, and so I had like, a little vape pen, and I had some like, back when they'd sold the weed in a little dropper, and so I'd mix it with a little like vape tobacco to keep myself from fucking melting down. But, it was cool, and then I did it on the Rob Zombie tour, and on that one night, Rob Zombie closed because it was outdoors, and he had all the, like, special effects shit, and, he doesn't want to be in the sun with that. So I had to play those back to back. Like, I got off stage and literally went and changed my shirt and fucking went back out, like, 30 minutes later. But I was also a lot younger then. A lot younger is relative. I was still fucking old, but
Right.
that was, more than 10 years ago. So, I don't know if I could do it now. I would try. I'd try, it's like fucking, worst problems to have and to go out and play twice, but yeah, it was tough, but it was fun. It was worth it. And it kept Exodus working while I was out working with Slayer. So we had a good time. It was fun.
Okay, so I've seen you play everything from like Studio 7, which is got a place in my heart, to White River, Canada. You just did what, the Moore or the Paramount?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
did security for that show. What do you prefer? Big venue, medium venue, outdoor? The little one where we get to get that close to you, or?
Which one's my favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite is the one where people show up to see me play. Because I'm only saying that because round one we did Tempo the Dam, 2003, we were out, and dude, I played shows like Colorado Springs, place held like 700, we had 18 paid.
Oh, wow.
I finished the last song and I handed my guitar to my guitar tech and I went right off the front of the stage, past all 18 people, and went straight to the bar. Because it was fucking rough, you're like playing to an empty place. And I went there and like, they're like, Gary, let me buy you a drink. And I already ordered it, double Rumple Mints and a beer, Because it's tough, and I needed a fucking drink. And people would say, oh man, how does it feel to be part of this thrash metal renaissance? And I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. I just like 18 So, if there's an audience, I'm happy. Small clubs are cool. There's an energy there that can't be replicated in a big venue. There's an energy that can't be replicated somewhere else from an Exodus show. It's different than Slayer, Slayer, there's a dark vibe, but everybody's having a good time. Exodus, everybody's violent and trying to kill each other, but smiling. So I like them both. Yeah, playing the arenas with Slayer was rad. I ain't gonna lie. Fucking blow them off the stage. Make them embarrassed. Because that's just what we're gonna try to do. We're all good friends, and they, send it right back at me. Come on, fire away. But, we go out there and we got our hour set, and we're not leaving nothing on the table because, I don't take any of this for granted. I've been through everything. I've been through death and drug addiction and working jobs like washing RVs and scooping up dog shit, for like $6 an hour. And then sold out Madison Square Garden, so I know what it's like on both ends of the spectrum. So, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fuck shit up because I don't know how to do it any other way. I'm not going half-ass, I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore.
Balls out, bud.
Hey, I just wanted to give best wishes for your brother, man. Been keeping up on that stuff.
I'm sorry?
Just wanted to give you best wishes for your brother. I hope he's
Thank
doing
you.
better.
Yeah, my brother got ran over his first day of vacation in Italy by a taxi. And I told him, I could joke about it now. He had booked a vacation before the pandemic and canceled it. When he first booked it, I said, watch out for pickpockets and taxis. And he kept his wallet, but he forgot the other part.
He's doing better?
He still can't walk. He's walking with a cane. He had a hip replacement, shattered femoral neck. People say, oh, I know someone with a hip replacement. They walked out of the hospital. I said they probably walked in, too. He spent 3.5 days on a gurney in a hallway waiting for a bed. He didn't get surgery for like 8 days. So, it's a little longer recovery for him. But he's doing good, though.
Good.
Thanks for asking. Once we got him home, that was felt like a Hollywood movie just trying to fucking get him out of there. You know, like
brothers, man, I can't imagine.
nobody spoke English in the hospital. Just we had some friends who stepped up and just really saved the family and helped get them home. And you know, then the European tour, I was left with the decision, like after all that trauma, do I come home and get on a plane 8 hours later and go back to Europe? And I just couldn't do it. I thought it was, my mental health was shot. I thought it was a threat to my sobriety to go over there that fucking beaten up. And, you know, Europe's not going anywhere. So I'll be back.
Still sober?
Better, man.
What's that?
Still sober?
Yeah.
How long?
Over 2 years.
Right on.
Congratulations.
I don't clap.
Do you need a refill?
No, I'm good. But I mean, you guys drink whatever you want. But I mean, come on, I used to like smoke meth, so you know, this was if I could quit cigarettes, everything else is easy. And like, so the only vice I have now is caffeine, you know, coffee. Good guitar, I like it.
I got a question. So, when you're writing music, do you ever look at it from like the audience viewpoint? Like, you're in the audience, you're like, oh, that's what I would like to see on stage.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it has to make me want to hurt people.
Yeah.
You know, and I, to this day, and I'm not bullshitting, everything's got to pass the Bailoff test. Would Paul loved it? Would Paul thought this shit was heavy? Would he like, yeah, it's got to fucking kill people? Also, though, you know, sometimes I remember things Paul said. Like he'd always say, you know, like, you know, if I wrote something real complicated, you know, that's cool, but don't forget the 2 IQers. You're getting too fancy. You know, don't forget the 2 IQers. Then I give them something that's gung, 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 and now you're talking. Like, you know, for the people who, like, their brains can only keep up with. You know, instead of. But he liked it all. It was just fucking Paul.
Question from a streamer regarding drummers. Of all the drummers you played with over the years, especially as a riff monster, do you have a favorite drummer that you've worked with over the years?
Tom Hunting, come on, that's You know, I don't even have to think about that. And I'm blessed, right? I've played with like Dave Lombardo, right? Dave's like one of my closest friends, and the sickest drummer in the world. I've played with Paul Bosaf. I've jammed with, you know, Nick Barker, who's currently undergoing like some serious kidney problems, and it's good to see his GoFundMe has gone kind of viral because, you know, he's waiting for a transplant. I wouldn't trade 1,000 of any of these guys for one Tom Hunting. Just me. You know, and Tom, we played music together since I was 17. We have a language. You know, when I write a riff, it's his drumming I hear in my head. And he knows what I want him to play before I've asked, you know, because we just have our own language. And, you know, they're all gods, but give me old Lefty any day.
How's Tom doing?
Elaborating, I'll get to you. Even playing with a right-handed drummer is weird for me because the drums are going the different direction. I played with a lefty on stage left my whole life, and even where I hear certain drums, a hi-hat and all that, is in a different place. You know, it even sounds different to me. Yes, sir.
Oh, so how's Tom doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great. He's
good.
up in the mountains chopping wood.
Nice.
That's what he does. Anyone else?
I think we have. Oh,
no,
go ahead if you're in the
go ahead.
room.
Could you play the verse riff to Slipping into Madness?
Hell yeah.
I don't know that song. Lee wrote that.
Oh.
Lee wrote that, and I have yet to learn it. But, you know, there's a whole album of stuff mostly that Lee hasn't yet learned to play. But I'll get to that because I do love that song. You know, eventually we'll play it.
Is that book still coming along?
Is there what?
Your book?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the book? Yeah, I'm doing interviews for the book every week and getting into some, you know, every aspect of my fucked up life. You know, it's gonna be a good book. I mean, my story's interesting because there's not a lot of guys. You know, rock and roll's full of guys. You know, stories behind the music of the guy who hit it big and then went down in the free fall of drugs and bad decisions. not a lot of them went right into the working world with horrible job prospects and all that and ended up at Madison Square Garden and with a horrific meth addiction in the middle of all of it, So it's going to make you laugh, cry. You'll be on the edge of your seat. It's going to be good. Don't have a name for it yet, though. I'm working on it.
We had a request for the first riff from Postmortem.
Okay. I gave you the first two. So, if you guys are out of questions, why don't we just hang out and sign shit and all that?
I got one.
Oh, here we go. We got one.
So I've been a fan since I was 13. I'm gonna be 40 next week. The most metal thing I've ever seen in my life is a guitar painted with your own blood.
Yeah. It's pretty metal, right?
Now I'm a drummer, and I asked my doctor if I could do it, and they said I don't have enough blood. How did that come about?
What's that?
How did that come about, the whole getting your guitar painted with your own blood?
Friend of mine, Brian Warner, who was the singer for Vital Remains, was a really good friend of Vincent Castiglia, the artist. And I met him through that. And it started with looking at his art, and it's just the most phenomenal thing in the world. And why don't we do a guitar? No one's ever done that. So he came with a phlebotomist to a Slayer show backstage and pulled 18 vials of blood. He wanted 32. But it was first of a 2-night stand, and my wife was there, and she goes, "That's enough of my husband's blood for one night." And he goes, "I think I'll make it work." And so we went with the stylized vision of Lucifer as the handsome angel he was. 777 on the pickups instead of 666 because my wife and I, the address where we got married was 777, so it's our lucky number. And it says Lex Talionis on the back of the neck with Law of the Talon, loosely translated, like the eye for an eye shit, And it's one of a kind, People say, well, didn't Kiss put their blood in a fucking comic book? And yeah, they put like a drop, man. 18 vials, bitch. Yeah, it's a prized possession. I took it out on the last tour with Anthrax and Black Label, and that's the first tour I've taken it out since Slayer because I'm also very cautious about what venues I take it into. Like that I wouldn't take out into a rowdy, no barricade club because someone comes up and a fucking boot flies over the barricade and chips the whole fucking front of it off. I'm going to murder somebody. Yeah. I got to replace that blood somewhere, and it's not going to be mine. But yeah, it's precious to me.
Hell yeah, thanks.
Did Jeff set any expectations for you when you took over?
Did what?
Jeff set any expectations when you took over for Slayer?
Did he set any?
Or motivated you, said some quote that resonates to you still?
Well, I mean, he's my old friend, and I just wanted to do him proud, We all thought he'd be back, when Carrie called me up, I thought it was going to be a short-term thing, and it sounded good because I was starting to go through a little Exodus burnout because we've been going nonstop. And tragedy struck, and I was there just shy of 10 years, But I had Jeff's seal of approval. It was at his wake at the Hollywood Palladium that a statement from Catherine, his wife, was read. And he was really bummed, apparently, when he found out they were going to do it without him. And when he said who, and they told him, me, his exact words were, "Fuck yeah." So, it's like, it means a lot to me. But, I didn't expect to be there that long. But, tragedy struck.
Forever reigning, Jeff.
Hell yeah.
The riff master.
All right, but riffs, South of Heaven, Spill the Blood, for preference.
Spill the Blood?
Yeah, which one?
I don't
do you
know if I
prefer?
remember how to play that one. I know I played it. I don't remember all this shit, you know, like, I mean, come on, you could stump me on my own riffs all day long.
I was gonna say, which one did you prefer, or would you prefer? Spill the Blood or South of Heaven?
Oh, South of Heaven, come on. You know, Carrie plays the opening riff and the intro, and I just come out. It's so heavy. It's just fucking, why so heavy? Fucking so evil.
Play the first rip, Strike of the Beast. Just find it.
Let's hang out and sign shit. Any other last questions?
So, Gary uses a Kaler, right? Did you have like any preference between Floyd and Kaler?
Floyd Rose to the day I die.
Hell yeah. Because the Kaler sits weird.
Yeah, my right hand has sat on these bridges for my whole life, and it's where I'm most comfortable.
I recently heard that you prefer the passive EMGs in studio.
In the studio, yeah, I did the whole Persona non grata record with a set of passive EMGs and a 1984 Yamaha SBG 3000. It just sounded phenomenal. I like passives in the recording studio. There's a certain rock bite they have. But then live, you know, nothing beats a, you know, active pickup. Let's hang out.
Yeah. Thank you.